So this topic might amuse you, know, that civil services, do you have it in you, right? So you might be wondering what this man is going to tell us when we have already decided, you know, that we are going to be civil servant and we are very much in the business. We have registered ourselves for this capsule, and you know, maybe we are among those categories that we have finally decided. Okay, but perhaps at the end of the capsule, you may have some takeaway points. Are you able to get me what I'm saying? Everybody is able to hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So this is the first question, you know, perhaps I would like to throw to the audience. Why civil services? Is it because your parents wanted you to do so? My parent wanted me to be an IAS officer. So that is why I'm trying for this. Money, travel, status pulls me. That is why I want to get into the power equation and be a civil servant. I want a job in a big setup, and that can be provided by perhaps none other than civil services. Or is it because after graduation, either you become a civil servant or a corporate man, or maybe you go for defense or many other government jobs? So this is just one of the option. I thought this is close to my heart. That is why I'm joining. I want to impress someone in my life. You have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, or you have somebody in life you want to impress actually. Well, if this is the reason you want to join civil services, I would say there is perhaps something wrong with your thinking. Let's see. Did you ever think like this? If I have to just ponder over these questions when I say so, joining civil services is absolutely essential today. Yesterday it was, 100 years ago it was, to our modern society, ever evolving modern society. To improve quality of life around me, to make a difference in the lives of the people where I live. Develop the next generation of everything. When I say everything, means literally everything. To do wonders by combining talent, which I have, the skills which I possess, the logic, and human interfaces. To look forward to challenges, curiosity, and importantly, excitement. Now, what kind of excitement? I leave it to you. To join the community of intellectuals and exchange knowledge. Once I join that coterie, I will use word coterie. Coterie is generally utilized as in negative connotation, but I take it as a very, very positive word. Like-minded people. So if, ladies and gentlemen, all of you sitting in this, talk session, if you did think so, even a bit of it, not everything of it, even a bit of it, you seems to be on track. So essentially, if I have to sum it up, how your thoughts are evolving over a period of time when you join graduation. Maybe some of you are postgraduates, and then suddenly something struck you and you wanted to do civil services. Now these thoughts have been evolving over a period of time, but you must always remember that your current thoughts are creating your future life. Now, whether they are going in the right direction or not, it's an important issue. What you think about the most or focus on the most will appear as your life itself tomorrow. So your thoughts becomes things finally. If that is the case, there is a need for you to dream big and think so. And when you say, dream big, what do you mean by this? Dream big, does it mean to be a civil servant? Does it mean to be an Indian civil services officer? Does it mean to be the topmost service, the Indian administrative services officer? Mind you, once you go through this capsule, this small capsule which I built up for you, you will have slightly different connotations about life. Now, I told you that you need to start thinking that, what is there, for you that should impel, that should decide your career itself. Now, if that is the thought process I expect you to do, is it so easy? what abstract thinking process on your choices. Generally, you must have seen, and I go by one, where you studied, whatever institute you studied, whether even if you studied at one of the premier IIT in the country, or ICER, or ISC Bangalore, or so on, any premier university, unfortunately, there are no such resources on collective basis at your institute which can help you start thinking that what kind of career you should have in life. I'm sure you must be thinking about it. Peer groups, limited knowledge. My friend Gautam told me that let's start preparing for civil services. And that is why I started preparing for civil services. But imagine Gautam, whether he has the limited knowledge or he has the complete knowledge about what you should be doing and what even he should be doing. How little the institute knows itself as a system. Forget about the resources at the institute. Even the people at, the institute, the organization, the university where you studied, how little they know, how little they are aware about, when it comes to what kind of career options, how you should choose a career. You know what I'm talking about. Peer groups pressure. Once again, I come to girlfriend and boyfriend equation. My girlfriend told me, come on, man, you need to be a civil services officer. Let us do something like this. My girlfriend told me after 12 that we need to do BTech in civil engineering. That is why we are in BTech in civil or computer science engineering. How limited is the institute's network itself? Unfortunately, at institutional way or the system per se, when you look at even the networking of this institute with other institutes where they can impart such kind of knowledge to you is very limited. So there is huge amount of uncertainty in the minds of the people when they start looking for the kind of career they should look. And unfortunately, even mentor makes them, think so. Why? Because even mentor has very limited knowledge, unfortunately. So all this results into what? Your own insecurity. And you know what? Why this? All because of lack of knowledge. Now, lack of knowledge is something which I'm going to emphasize upon in the next few slides. So what I am trying to do in next few slides is trying to give you some kind of perspective, that how you should look at your career, how you should look at your future career. But this knowledge which I'm going to do, it is a very limited knowledge, which I cannot give you entire knowledge of, what is your immediate environment, what is your slightly distant environment, and what is your absolutely distant environment from you in your neighborhood to the world around you. It's very difficult. So what I'm trying to do is to tell you that when it comes to the lack of knowledge, you need to fill up this gap. How do you need to fill up this gap? Not through peer group knowledge, not through mentors knowledge, not through the limited knowledge of parents. You start getting into Google. You start spending time on other search engines. There are enough search engines besides Google which give you such kind of beautiful information. You have not taken a dive so far. So coming back to the slide per se, career versus job, if you look at. So first of all, there is a myth, there is a fallacy, in the minds of the people. Career and job are same thing. But to me, if you have not understood even this aspect of life till date, that there is a huge, not just subtle, there is a huge difference between a career and a job. And it goes like this. A career, when it comes to, is a deliberate decision that is meant to pursue a way of life, whereas job is a necessary evil done for money and only secured life. Career means goal setting and forward thinking with absolute vision developing over a period of time. It's not the vision of the organization. It's your own vision, that where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 40 years from now, 60 years from now, and so on. But when it comes to job per se, it is only short-term goals. You cannot talk in terms of visionary things, in terms of job. So conceptual and intellectual work that involves innovation, risk-taking, and a lot of enthusiasm is what a career offers you. But when it comes to job, it may be quite relaxed, but with passage of time, it will lead to lesser and lesser interest, and definitely it is going to become bored. To give you an example, somebody joining as a systems engineer, or the testing engineer after computer science engineering, or even basic discipline, and having some knowledge, or acquired some knowledge, acquired a lot of knowledge during graduation itself, and he gets into some software company. His package might be very interesting, but whether that package is going to give him more and more interesting things, more and more enthusiasm, more and more innovation, you know what I'm talking about. Because by the time he reaches 35 to 40 years of age, he has actually reached the pinnacle of his career. He is nowhere actually, unless during this period he has tried to develop some more skills, and those kind of skills I will talk about it later. Career, when it comes to it, means growth and achievement, whereas when it comes to job, it means minimal impact on future. Career per se means power, success, and wealth. So whether you should take your civil services as an option for power spectrum, success, and wealth, I leave this thought to you with a lot of caution. But job, when it comes to fulfills needs adequately. Finally, when it comes to career per se, fuels passion and builds a personality. Don't you think it is important that over a period of time, you develop 360-degree of outlook in whatever career you are? Whether you start your career as a, civil services officer or any kind of officer in an organizational setup in government or even in a corporate sector, ultimately, it should build up your personality. But when it comes to job, ultimately, what I have seen over a period of time during 35 years of my service, it builds ego, self-identity, and sense of one's place. So when I say so, with all due respect to all the clerks in the country or across the world, you know what is the difference between an officer and a clerk. How the job environment, how the career environment itself gets you into a position where you should be seeing yourself 5 years from now or 50 years from now. So to conclude what I wanted to say, job is an end in itself, while career is an end in itself. A job is given to you while a career is made by you. This is what you should know. A job is given to you by somebody. You picked up the job. You got placed. You had campus placement. Is this final? No. The career is going to be made by you. Some slide like this, what should it tell you actually? So it's a comparison between public versus private sector somewhere in US actually. The statistics, when it talks about starting from 2000 to 2016, and when it comes to till about 2019, beginning of 2019, I think the graphs here will have the similar trend. It will have some rising trend up to this place till 2019, and even this will have some rising trend. Now, what I'm trying to show through this slide actually to you is that when it comes to private sector or corporate sector, what you call, or public sector, if you look at the public sector graph, it is by and large steady. By and large, government sector, or public sector is by and large steadily increasing. Okay, there was a dip somewhere in 2012. You know the reason of dip, that why it happened. No, but this is something slightly unusual. And this dip, if you compare with the dips which are associated with private, they go high and they come down so badly. Now look at what has happened in the country across the world after 2019. So this graph has further dipped, substantially, and you will understand why I'm showing this slide to you, that ultimately what is important for you in life is the job security or the career security. So which sector provides you the maximum security is the public sector in comparison to the private sector. But that should not be the sole factor that you should decide whether you want to be a civil servant or you want to join the corporate sector. To give you further some inputs, employment providers in the last 5 years, when it comes to, when I say last 5 years, the data is only up to 2018. Things have changed 2019 onwards. This 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 private partnership of 60%, this major chunk of 60% has considerably shrunken, okay, in last about 1 year and 6 months. You know, for the reason is very clear: these challenging times of COVID, actually. Okay. Now, this is also some fallacy in the minds of some people, you know, who want to join corporate sector, but then, the reason is what they feel that, you know, perhaps the higher salary, higher perks. I mean, this is another fallacy which I wanted to remove. You know, this is one data which is very old data, June 2010, but then let me assure you, nothing has changed over a period of time when it comes to this data per se. When it comes to private industry, or, you know, the state and local government, or the purely civilian part of it, what you should look into this graph is whether it is in terms of total compensation given to an employee, the wages and salaries, or the benefits given by the dark blue, light blue, and this red. When you look at the government sector, you know, where do you have the perks, benefits, the wages and salaries maximum? Obviously in the government sector. If you, what you call as CTC, the cost to company, is much more in government in comparison to private sector. This fallacy is there. No. The cost to company is much more in the corporate sector. You may think, you know, that why I'm telling you this, because you are already, you know, preparing for civil services. You will understand at the end of few further slides that why I'm telling you this. Now, this slide is also very important for you to understand when it comes to government sector versus private sector, what essential, you know, is the difference actually. Government sector, when it comes to, it is for the greater good of society in areas like education, health, defense, transport, whereas private sector, it provides valuable goods and services and to make profit. When it comes to government sector, it means security and stability during downturns and recessions can lead to complacency. It's a fact, you know. There is a saying that more, you know, 20% of the workforce in the government is the only Jagruk force. They are the people who actually work for rest of 80% people. But when it comes to the private sector, security and stability directly is proportional to your competence and result. You know the attrition rates, you know the pink slips. Pink slips are given at the drop of the hat in the corporate sector. Unmatched power, few posts in government sector, power in only limited to certain code areas. Now, when it comes to the government sector, the procedure and hierarchy sometimes can be counterproductive, very formal structure. So you have a relatively lesser formal structure. If you have a bent of mind, which is not hierarchical in nature, and let me tell you, even if you try hard to develop that kind of skill in next few years, actually, even if you are preparing for civil services and you don't have that kind of mindset, you will land up into a problem wherein you have not chosen the career as per your aptitude. This is going to be very important for you. So am I dissuading you that you should not be appearing for civil services? No, I'm giving you some gyan. That gyan you should further substantiate, you know, through your own research, through your own knowledge, which you gain through various engines, and take a well-informed decision. Limited and pre-decided pay and perks and promotion offers lifelong post-retirement benefits, of course, but there is no, substantial jump which can happen in government sector. I've been in government sector now almost 33 years. Prior to that, I was in corporate sector for about 2 years. So I can make some good comparison also from that point of view, because during my time, 33 years ago, when I was in corporate sector, there were no corporate sector per se. There were only Lala companies, okay, which used to actually exploit people. Now things are more organized. It offers excellent pay while on job, fast promotion, no free offers on retirement, no free lunches, man, in the corporate sector. It means government sector means you are serving the nation directly. And here also, those who want to claim in the civil services interview, main interview, I've been hearing this, answer from, many of the candidates when they, appear for the mock interviews. And it's a very interesting thing. They say, sir, we want to serve the nation. That is why we are here. So don't you serve the nation? You very much serve the nation, serving the corporate world, the private sector. How? Because you sustain the economic growth. And economy is something which decides everything in life, whether it is the international relations, whether it is the strength of the nation, or the infrastructure, or anything which will actually put the nation on the path of progress. So I need not tell you that, what are the career in government sector. You are well aware, but I just thought listing some of them. And the most important, what you're doing in green, officer in civil services. So to be very frank, if you ask me my personal opinion, even out of government sector services, which are the best services, which are the most organized services. When I organize, that means which are the most organized cadres, where the institutionalized systems are there. They are the civil services officer, without any doubt in my mind. Now, this is important, for you to understand. Now, you have maybe taken a decision, whether corporate sector or maybe, government sector per se, but then ask yourself this. These two questions are very important, actually, and I want you to pay attention on this slide. Look 20 years out and place your bet now onwards that which technologies or business domains are going to be most powerful and promising in next 20 years from now. I'm not saying 5 years. I'm not going 2 years. I'm not going, 10 years. I'm saying 20 years. Why it is important, and I'm making this statement knowing very well that today technology is developing at a pace of about 2 to 3 years, not even 5 years. Technology is getting updated, is getting obsolete even after 2 years. And this man is saying, look 20 years out and place your bet. How do I do that? Very simple. You need to do good Google. You need to do good search yourself. You need to make yourself aware that which are the sectors which are going to be important in terms of career per se. So some of the things which I thought listing for you, obviously you know some of them, but I thought these are perhaps 7 sectors which are going to be really very important: biotech, IT, clean energy, healthcare, telecom. I missed out water. Water is something which is going to make huge difference in future to come, this particular sector. And finally, microfinance. And when I say microfinance, I'm purely talking about operational finance. And when I talk about operational finance, there are very few institutes in the country, unfortunately, who offers even an MBA in operational finance. Generally, you will find people are offering MBA in finance rather than operational finance. Now, the second question which you should ask yourself is very important: that which lineup. Now, what sector line up with your own belief system? Now, this is a very important question. Whether my belief system, whatever, and what is this belief system? I will come to that part later. But overall, when it comes to your belief system about yourself, what do you think about yourself? What are the attitudes in you? What are the aptitudes in you? Which sector is most in lineup, most suitable for you? Whether defense, consumer sector, corporate sector, academia, or obviously civils, for which you are sitting in this capsule. Now, this is another thing, which I gave you some glimpse of it, in initial few slides when I talked about, is your career ensuring 360-degree outlook? And when I say 360-degree outlook, I am ultimately talking about, is your career ensuring leadership? Can your career ensure leadership? The question is this. We'll come to this question subsequently. But as of now, accept this gospel truth that when it comes to career, there are careers which can ensure leadership. There are careers which may not offer you that kind of possibility, that where you will develop 360-degree outlook, leading above, below, and at your level. And what is this leading at above, below, and your level? Leading above means what? How can you lead people who are above you? That means you influence the people. You impress the people to that extent that even those, bosses of yours are, always considering you a man who is indispensable, not in their organization, in their life, that they cannot survive without you. Below you, the subordinates, whether they look up to you, your level, your peer group, whether your career is offering that kind of 360-degree outlook, whether your career is, offering 360-degree outlook with respect to the role dynamics. So this gentleman, Gorakh Patil and Madhuji was talking about the hats I had been wearing, over a period of time, the official hats in 6 organizations, about maybe 12, profiles. And over and above those, official profiles, I've been doing some nonsense in my life, wherein whenever I get some time, I try contribute towards the society in whatever way I can. But what I'm trying to say is not that kind of role dynamics which I developed because I might have been a Keen Kumar in life. Okay. But what I'm trying to say, the role dynamic offered by the career itself. Now, what kind of career can offer you that kind of role dynamics? Think over it. What kind of career can offer you that kind of thing which can lead, give you leading positions from above, below, and at your level, which can give you understanding about diversity. Very important. See, you joined a state government job. I generally ask this question to people who are from NITs, and they feel offended at times in the mock interviews. And the question is, why NITs have not become a national institution over a period of time? What lacks in comparison to IITs? Now, IITs people will be feeling very happy, hearing this actually. Understanding diversity means whether the career per se, is ensuring that you develop that kind of understanding for diversity around you. And importantly, whether it makes an impact on your 360-degree outlook. Obviously, the answer is yes. When it comes to Indian civil services, and particularly the 3 premier services, Indian Administrative Services, Indian Police Services, and Indian Foreign Services, these are the 3 services, perhaps, I'm so sure, they definitely offer that kind of 360-degree outlook. But by saying so, does that mean that the corporate leadership jobs do not provide you 360-degree outlook? Think over it. Personal virtues and ability to... Now, this is another important aspect of your career, whether your career is, developing some kind of personal virtues. So you have some personal virtues already with you, right? Now, but whether the career per se, giving you an ability to leverage your strengths, already you have some strengths, but importantly, somebody is enhancing your strengths, whether the career per se or fill in weaknesses. And importantly, most importantly, whether the career, gives you a feeling, how to deal with failures, whether it gives you some kind of training, some kind of, gyan that how to deal with failures itself. Obviously, once again, I conclude that when it comes to the government sector, civil services are the best. I talked about failures. Now, please don't mind. I'm going to make a statement. And the statement is, when it comes to my generation, dealing with failures was easier. But when it comes to your generation, and when I said, please don't mind, I'm making a coterie of, your generation per se, I'm actually relate with your generation more than my own generation. I've seen my life actually over a period of time. I gel with youngsters very well, I am generally considered cool by those guys, But why I'm making this statement? Because this is my own observation. This is not gospel truth. Now, what I want to say, unfortunately, dealing with failures is something which perhaps neither our institutional system, neither our parenting, has ensured that we develop individuals who are good at dealing with failures. So if you never fail, you are not probably trying hard enough. Always remember. So this is also with respect to your attempts in civil services. Mind you, I observed some of the candidates in last 10 years who came after 5th attempt. That was their 6th attempt or the last attempt actually. They were shattered inside. Why? Because they were pressure. They were girls, they were pressure at home that to get married actually. And that was the last ultimatum, from the parents. भाई देख लो, इस बार हो जाता है तो ठीक है, नहीं तो तुम्हारी शादी करवा दे. And I could make out, being a psychological pundit, I could make out from the interview stage itself that here is a problem in dealing with failures. Here is a problem in thinking about कि ये 6th chance है, अगर fail हो गए तो क्या होगा जीवन का? जीवन क्या खत्म हो जाएगा? No. So this is where I picked up those guys, those girls, got in connected with them and tried to make them rational in life, tried to make them stable in life. Nothing stops. Nothing stops. It's your life, okay? The life can begin once again. Not all failures are equally forgivable. I want to caution you. So what do I mean? That means whatever failures you are having, one after another. And let me tell you that those people who came in the 6th attempt, many of them who got connected to me over a period of time, I realized about 90% of them cracked through it. I'm not taking, a credit for this, but what I'm trying to say that finally it happened in their life. So does it mean that you draw a corollary out of it that, okay, fine, if it doesn't happen first time, it will happen second time, it will happen third time, and so on? No. What I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, please look at this. Whatever risks you take in life, from first attempt to second attempt to third attempt to fourth attempt, the risks which you take over a period of time, they should be well-conceived risks. Well-conceived risk, that means well-calculated risk. अगर आपको आभास हो गया है, ज्ञान हो गया है थर्ड अटेम्प्ट के बाद कि भैया ये मेरे लिए जीवन में टेढ़ी खीर है, I am not having that kind of aptitude or attitude in life to carry on with preparation of civil services, it's better to take a call. Are you getting me, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Somebody was trying to get in touch with me, so I thought that you are not, I'm not audible to you. Fine. So coming to, not all failures are equally forgivable. That means you should be intelligent enough to calculate the risk in life. Your risk should be well conceived, well calculated, and it should be a good risk to begin with. I give you, an example, a personal example from my life. Actually, my own daughter is presently undergoing PhD in molecular biomedicine from Max Planck Institute in Germany. A very seasoned girl from Delhi University Hindu College, then went to IISc Bangalore, and in between she thought, after MSc, that she will prepare for civil services. I was very happy as a father. I never told her, but there was some worthy friend of her during college days who both of them started preparing. He's an IPS officer now, presently undergoing training. But this girl within 9 months decided, this is not my cup. Nor she, consulted me after that, nor her mother. She decided on her own, appeared for GATE, appeared for NET, and went for research. That means she took some decisions in time. Are you getting me? Great. Learn from your failures. Do not blame others. Have you seen the movie Blame It on Rio? If you have not seen, it's a very old movie, 60s movie, 1960s. When I saw this movie first time, I was flabbergasted actually. What kind of movie is this? Okay. But I had a lesson, from that movie. And that lesson keeps, ringing in my ears. Never ever blame others. Never ever blame Rio, the Rio in your life, for your own failures. Own up. You must have a personality to own up your failures, own up your mistakes. This is what you should do. Rather than saying, अरे सर बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो गया था जीवन में, बुखार हो गया था, फिर मैं 2 महीने के लिए बीमार हो गई थी, इसलिए तैयारी ठीक से नहीं हो पाई, बहुत प्रेशर है सर घर में, etc. etc. You know what I'm talking about. Now, after I say so, after boosting so much the civil services per se, that why you need to be in civil services, I thought that I must tell you some facts and figures. And these facts and figures, when you go through these facts and figures, you will realize that perhaps sky is the limit, not only in civil services, everywhere. Am I trying to snatch you away from Madhu and party? No, I'm giving you the perspective. I'm rather trying to give you the perspective. Now, here is some slide. 10 lakh more jobs than number of students itself by the year 2020. This was the prediction. And the prediction came true. There is a deficit. There is a huge deficit in US when it comes to the computing jobs. Can you believe this? Now, how many of you have even thought over it actually? Graduate full-time employment rate. Now, who's this graduate? Is not the typical graduate who graduates as a BTech in our country. Graduate means a PhD graduate actually. Now look at the full-time employment rate. Did you ever think that electronics, computer engineering, and electrical engineering will have the highest employment rate as close to about 80%? Can you believe this? And even civil engineering, mining engineering, mechanical engineering, which are the basic disciplines. And look where computer science is hanging in between after your PhD. Chemical engineering, mathematics, aeronautic engineering, physical sciences and chemistry, when it comes to, they are at the top. Sorry, they are the bottom, bottommost position actually. Why I'm trying to show this slide? Knowledge is the key. So you need to take care of the knowledge deficit which you have in life. Oh, interesting. You want to be an academician? No. It's fine, I don't want to get into the civil services anymore. I've already attempted 2 chances. So let me be an academician, right? So now this is average US salary by gender, when it comes to professor, associate professor, assistant professor, research assistant, the postdoc or the graduate student. Now look at this, how things are actually. Now, have you ever thought that, the salaries could be as high in case of academician? And this is only limited to US. There are many countries in this world who offers such kind of brilliant service. Look at, there was an article in Germany. I don't know, for the Germany's chancellor made a statement in the parliament that why I should pay maximum to my teachers actually. Okay, what was the rationale actually? Now, why I'm talking about PhD? So this is something interesting to me. Why? Because not that my daughter is doing PhD, not that I am PhD. That is why I'm telling you all this, because I realize this knowledge deficit is maximum in this line actually. That people have a very stupid notion that people who do PhD in life, they are only good enough to take on the academic positions, the research positions per se. Now, after completing your PhD, how long do you think it will take to find a permanent position? Although 58% of the respondents plan to work as a postdoctoral work, few expect to do so for more than 6 years. Imagine stigma that I don't want to get into PhD. अरे भाई कौन पढ़ेगा 4 से 6 साल के बीच में? Because no PhD is going to be completed before 4 years and on average 5 years and maximum say about 6 years. Now look at this stigma and compare this stigma. Compare this with your attitude and aptitude for civil services. Think over it rather than ragadai of yourself in life for next 5 to 6 years. If you have that academic potential, if you have that research potential, if you have that in you, that makes you an academic, that makes you a PhD. Think over it. Take a call accordingly. And this is what this part of my presentation is going to open your Gyan Chakshu further. PhD doesn't mean just to be an academician in IISc Bangalore, IITs, NITs, ICERs, or even a private university campus. Are you even aware? How many of you, if you look at, honestly, I can tell you with 100% assurance that not even 20% of you will know that there are some corporates, even in the country, who are offering alternative propositions for the PhDs. And this number, which is there in the corporate sector in the country today, is increasing every year. Let's have a look at that. Have you heard about this term market research analyst? Does it ring a bell in your mind? That market research analyst is something, who is a marketeer actually. But imagine 20% growth in next decade in US. This is what is forecasted. and about 7% growth is expected in our country and rest of the developing countries. So growth I'm talking about every year, not, 7 is not the absolute number. So this is especially significant in innovation-based sectors such as electronics, IT, or biotechnology. PhD's ability to analyze large amount of information and identify comparative advantage between two technologies is very valuable to this role. Your reports will act as essential tools that administrative teams will use to plan an ideal commercial path. Why I'm showing this slide to you? What I'm trying to say, that you are going to be a very, very important man in the company, in the corporate sector, if you join after PhD. Business development managers, top 100 careers today, you find the growth of 16% for the people who did their PhDs. Nowadays, as they say, science PhDs are being increasingly hired as BDMs. And I personally went into more and more data on this, and I realized even in our country, about 12% growth has happened in last 3 years itself. Am I, a strategist? Am I a business strategist? Am I somebody, who is in the counseling business? Is it my job? You have already seen my profile. It's just my personal interest, that I went into this data. Now, it is not your personal interest per se. It is your life, it's your career. Don't you think that when you decide your career, you should have the entire information about the career which you want to choose? Competitive intelligence analyst. Have you heard about this term? This term is once again is utilized in the corporate sector. As a CI analyst, you will turn information about your competition into actionable intelligence for your company. CI analyst positions often act as a gateway to higher executive positions, generally CEOs. Okay, COOs, CTOs. Quantitative analysts, this is another area over a period of time, maybe last 10 years, even the country, I am saying huge numbers even after MBA, but definitely there is a substantial jump, particularly in Hyderabad sector, which I saw. The quantitative analysts are increasing in Hyderabad. Operational research analyst. I'm sure this term you have heard about. What I wanted to say, the STEM PhDs, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics PhDs are the highly preferred lot in operation research analysts. Ever thought of starting up a startup itself? Come on, Rajiv, what are you talking about? I'm here to listen to civil services. Are you aware that in civil services setup, there are options that you can branch out for a few years and come back to civil services? Startups are easier when you're young, more time, more energy, less to lose. Startups can sometimes change world explosively. There are startups who had made history, but unfortunately, 87% of the startups all over the world, not in the country, they fail. And they fail for a reason. Don't blame it on Rio. Unfortunately, people blame it on Rio because they don't prepare well for the startups. Less overall stability, obvious reason. But when it comes to the corporates, the companies, they have more opportunities to change world incrementally. Remember that those increments can add up over time, more stable, but sometimes that also means boring, even in corporate sector. Both can be exhilarating and both can be frustrating. Why frustrating? Because ultimately, when it comes to even the startups, you might be doing something for your own. You're not doing naukri of somebody. So, किसी की खुशामद भी करोगे तो अपने लिए करोगे, but at times it can be frustrating. Come on, Rajiv, what should I do? With so much of information I've been shown, I am really confused. Are you confused? I will improve upon your confusion. Now, this is another graph which I wanted to show you. I'm sure many of you who have done some management book, where you need not have done, masters in business administration, but some exposure to management must have seen this Maslow's theory of needs, the hierarchy of needs. Now you're here. Presently, you are lurching you are dwindling, you are swinging between your physiological and safety needs, whether it's breathing, food, water, sex, your physical needs, absolutely physical, sleep, exertion, the safety needs, security of body, employment of resources, morality of the family, of health, of prosperity, of property. But as you grow, as you evolve in your career, in your life, as you grow in your age, I won't say age, but as you grow in age, as you become matured, you will need more and more of love and belongingness. Whether you will have time, whether the career you are choosing now, you will have time next 10 years, next 15 years. You know, people burn out at 35 in corporate sectors. People literally burn out. And so could be possible even civil services if you are not giving enough attention to this part of your life, love and belongingness. You may burn out anywhere. And then finally, self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect to others, by others. You should reach that stage, say maybe 20 years from now, or maybe 15 years from now, 10 years from now. And finally, nirvana, self-actualization. You talk about morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice. I am not judgmental. Come on. Acceptance of facts. Now some people among you say, हमने तो भाई साहब ये ग्राफ देखा ही नहीं आज तक. क्या दिखा रहे हो आप? Never heard about this. Never thought over it. हम तो ये सोचते हैं बस. Our Maslow need is like this. Our digital needs are pyramids of this Maslow too, which I have developed. How newer generation perceive their needs is like this. My physiological needs are, I should have a Wi-Fi. I should have a full-fledged battery. When it comes to my safety needs, there should be a password in my laptop, which my mom is not able to see, or my mobile. When it comes to my belonging and love and needs, Facebook, purani baat ho gayi, Facebook, old. WhatsApp takes care of it, right? Esteem needs, oh, come on. I've got 300 followers, on Twitter, 3,000 followers on Twitter. Insta, oh, I'm damn good on Insta, Reels, you look at my reels which I make. My self-actualization is my LinkedIn profile. How beautiful my LinkedIn profile is. What is my self-actualization? How good I am as a YouTuber, what you call, is what my self-actualization. That was on lighter side. But what I'm trying to say, this Maslow theory of hierarchy, at this stage itself, you recall I showed you a slide 20 years from now, whether your career is providing you the 360-degree outlook, whether your career is providing you that kind of quality where you are able to develop your already existing personal virtues, where you are able to overcome your weaknesses, whether your career offers that, it's important. So essentially, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say, gain a thorough understanding of your career options. And how will you, understand that? Is it through my, presentation? No, my presentation is more of a tinker for you, more of an idea to you, an idea, Sarji, that how you should lead your life now onwards. That means, come to the brass tacks. Next 7 days, I want you to spend on laptops, your mobiles, all the search engines in this world. Gather more and more data. Keep on gathering, keep on making folders. And next 15 days, or maybe another 1 more week, you should actually get into that mode where you analyze that data which you have gathered. So next 1 month, dedicate yourself at least 2 hours a day. You will say, Saab, kamal kar rahe ho aap. Prelim examination aa raha hai. Fine, I leave it to you. What is good for you and what is not good for you. So what I'm trying to say, gain a thorough understanding of your career options. Otherwise, you will be forced by circumstances to take a position that is not in alignment either with your capacity or capability, or even compatibility. I talked about attitude and aptitude, or even your long-term goals. Understanding which industry positions are on the rise. You recall, I said 20 years from now, look out. will also help you see what's available to you outside of a traditional career path. Break the conventions. You should be the one who should be breaking the conventions. You should be, the one who should be thinking about breaking the conventions. Gone the days when PhDs were considered the academicians and the researchers in labs. Today, more and more, like I give you an example. Suppose you do BTech in mechanical engineering from IIT Delhi. Okay, IIT Delhi is a bad example. Okay, IIT Kanpur. No, IIT Bombay is a better option. Okay, IITians are going to fight now on this. And then you suddenly decide that, I need to do MTech from abroad, and you go abroad and, you do MTech or MS, and then you get into job. Are you even aware after your MS and MTech, the kind of profile you will have? You will have at least 3 times extra profile when you do PhD in mechanical engineering and join this one of the corporate sector in US. 3 times extra. So career per se cannot be an ideal, rather it needs to be a passion. Please watch this statement of mine. Career cannot be an ideal, rather it needs to be your passion. What do I mean by this? I mean that Rajiv has been telling by and large, kaan idhar se pakdo ya udhar se pakdo, by and large is telling that, civil services is one of the best jobs, one of the best career, which you can think of, because it offers you everything, 360-degree outlook, personal virtues. Of course, the corporate sector also offers you such kind of career, but ये तो ready-made है, आगे तो मिल गया सब हो जाएगा जीवन में. No. It may be ideal to offer you that kind of thing, but is it your passion? Please look into this. The placebo effect, the self-belief system. I don't know how many of you have heard about, even if you have not heard about, get into this placebo effect, not now in the Google, later, once the presentation is over. To give you an example of placebo effect, it means a doctor a doctor gets a visit by some lady, who is generally having lot of problems with her body, and every week she's with that family doctor, and she says ki doctor sahab meri tabiyat abhi theek hi nahi hoti hai, main to bahut kharab tabiyat hai meri. Okay, and doctor realizes that there is nothing wrong with this lady. Actually, perhaps she is drawing some attention. Her all reports are absolutely positive actually, और कोई issue नहीं है उसके अंदर. So what he does, he uses the placebo effect. What is the placebo effect? Because the lady has tremendous confidence in this doctor. So the doctor takes out some multivitamins, and give, in some bottle, and says, young lady, you have this medicines for next 1 month and you will be all right. I assure you, this is magical medicine. And this belief system finally works, and the lady stops coming to the doctor. This effect is generally utilized as a medicine practice, as in the medicine universities actually. But why I'm telling you this is, start believing in yourself and you will find the placebo effect. आपने सुना है वो शाहरुख खान का डायलॉग, जब आप किसी को शिद्दत से चाहो तो सारी कायनात कोशिश करती है कि वो आपके पास ले आए जो आप जिसको चाहते हो. So this is the placebo effect. This is the belief system I'm talking about. Please try to differentiate between what should I ideally do, and what I want to do. Now, what is ideally? My father is an IRS officer. He wants me to bloody join, civil services. Ideally, मैंने तो देखा उनका जीवन, सारी जिंदगी देखा है. Ideally, this is the right thing to do. But is this something what I want to do? Think over it. Do your homework. I told you, research, important, your own research. Don't depend upon my research. I might be talking conky actually. Okay, don't believe anybody on this earth except your own research. Ask yourself, please bear with me on this spelling mistake yourself. Do you have it in you? This is the question, do you have it in you? Do you have the aptitude? Do you have the attitude? Do you have the skills? Do you have the belief system that you can do it? And once you do so, these 4 steps, take a well-informed decision. Well-informed. See, I'm not suggesting to you, you don't be civil servant or you don't be a corporate man. I'm only suggesting you just spend 1 month, next 1 month, just 2 hours every day to take a well-informed decision about the life which you are going to lead. Importantly, nobody dies of hard work. आपने सुना है कभी कि उस इंसान की मृत्यु हो गई क्योंकि यार बहुत मेहनत करता था? Have you ever heard about this? So if this is the case, why shortcuts? Unfortunately, many of the people around you, you must have seen, even you might be the one who believes in shortcuts. No shortcuts in life. Do you need to have fallback options? This is an important question you should ask yourself. If you have taken a well-informed decision, you have decided, I'm going to pursue this career of civil services because it offers me everything on the platter, man. Where will I find such kind of services? So do you need to have fallback options? No, the answer is no if you ask me. So, sir, what would I do? My life will stop. After 6 years, it will not stop. It will definitely not stop because God has decided your destiny. You are already qualified. You are well educated. Something nice would happen even after 6 years. Believe in that system. So if you don't believe in this system, you will keep on struggling between your main option and the fallback options. अगर ये हो गया तो ठीक है, नहीं हुआ तो कोई बात नहीं. That means you see what I'm trying to say. You should have built up yourself, and if you have not built up yourself, you should continue building yourself in terms of your fallback options. That means when it comes to your soft and technical skills, they should be very well developed over a period of time. But don't ever think about कि ये civil services में अगर मैं fail हो गया तो मैं क्या करूंगा? This question should not arise in you. The moment this fallback option, plan B, is there, your focus, your concentration on plan A is going to reduce automatically. Think over it. These are some of the points I wanted you to think over it. So what next? After I made choice, Rajiv ji, बताइए. Okay, बताएंगे. 3 actors in your life, in your career. Once you have made a choice, once you have made a choice, you did a lot of hard work. You are already sitting as a civil servant somewhere. Now, I wanted you to compare your life, your career, to a hospital setup where there is a doctor, there is a patient, and there is a hospital. Why I'm bringing this slide to you? Because COVID is in air. Is it? No. Because I wanted to tell you, your hospital system, compare it with any system. No hospital system is perfect. Similarly, no system is perfect. Whether you join civil services as an IS officer, IPS officer, IRS, Indian Postal Services, or whatever, no system is perfect. Don't go by this norm in your life that you're going to have a perfect system. Just the very fact you have got into it. Now your role is as a doctor. Look into your patients, which are the public, more critically. That what is your relationship with them? Why are you here in those chairs? Is it to enjoy power? Is it to enjoy prestige? Is it to enjoy wahi-wahi? Is it to enjoy some wealth? Is it to fulfill my greedy needs? You have the answers. Why? You will understand soon. But importantly, before I go further, मैं हिंदी में बोलूंगा. गुलजार साहब ने कहा, हवा को भी गुमान था अपनी आजादी पर, किसी ने उसे भी गुब्बारे में भर के बेच दिया. Look into this quite critically. If you become a civil servant tomorrow, it should not get into your head. The air should not get to your head. This is the least you should allow yourself. This is the least you should allow yourself to be a good officer. This is the least you should allow yourself, even while preparing civil services next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Why this is important? Just because you are a 9.2 grader, CGPA 9.2 from IIT Kharagpur. Don't get into this. ऐसे औंधे लोग पढ़ते हैं because of this air at times. Come down to the Mother Earth. It's going to help you. But मेरे लिए कहना आसान है, आपके लिए समझना मुश्किल होगा, बिकॉज किसी ने कहा है संभ्य को पढ़ना दुनिया का सबसे कठिन कार्य है. बट आई रिक्वेस्ट यू, प्रयास अवश्य करें दोस्तों, प्रयास अवश्य करें. सोचिए अपने बारे में. At this stage in my life, when I'm preparing for civil services, what kind of ego equation is there in my mind? Whether when I even talk to friends, family, somebody asks me, अरे बच्चे आजकल क्या कर रहे हो? साहब मैं सिविल सर्विसेज की प्रिपरेशन कर रहा हूँ. Is it even necessary to tell somebody that you are preparing for civil services? Or it should be a quite secret affair that the day you become civil servant, that is the time you should. This is what the kind of humbleness you should have. Now, how will you do that actually? Whether during next 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 5 years, when you prepare for civil services, or after you even become civil servant, how you are going to develop these soft skills? I thought, let me give you some gyan on this. Now, what are soft skills? To my understanding, soft skills are professionalism, communication, critical thinking, and ability to have the conflict resolution. I again repeat, professionalism itself is a soft skill. Communication, the ability to communicate. दुर्भाग्य की बात है, that is last 35 years of my career, I met many services officers, okay? And I observed that even over a period of time, they were not able to communicate what they wanted to communicate. That means they didn't try enough, enough in their life, that communication plays a very important role for you to become even a professional. What you want to convey, you should have the ability to communicate. And importantly, to be a professional, critical thinking, even if you don't have presently, you should actually try and develop this critical thinking. Conflict resolution. This is another ability, whether it's a corporate leader of tomorrow, or a leader in civil services, or a leader of your own startup, you should have developed by the time you evolve over a period of time through this Maslow hierarchy of needs. You should have developed the conflict resolution. Are you with me? This ability to have conflict resolution is going to pay rich dividends in your life. Now the debate is, soft skills can be learned or they are acquired by birth. You might have heard this term by so many people. If I was in a physical class along with you, I would have been asking this question to you, but then perhaps that luxury is not there with me to ask you these questions. So you must have heard, this term that that guy, is a very natural kind of leader. He's a born leader. Okay. Do you believe in that story? That the leaders are born naturally? The answer is yes or no?
No.
Pardon?
No, sir. No, sir.
Absolutely brilliant. So if somebody said no, I give 100% marks to that gentleman or lady. Why no? I tell you, once again, I draw the lesson from my own life actually. And let me tell you with pride that when look at my own life, natural leader, I was a timid boy till about 10th standard. Timid boy. कोई भी थप्पड़ लगा के स्कूल में चला जाता था. Okay. And why I was timid boy? There were circumstances. There were, you see, I'm also blaming it on Rio. This is a natural instinct. Okay. Now, to give you in a nutshell the feeling about what kind of circumstances in which I evolved actually. So I am the son of a laborer, a cloth mill laborer. Okay. So how do you expect the natural born leaders born to the families of the cloth mill laborer, where such environment is not there? Even the schools where they are going to go, that government, Sarkari school, Nagar Nigam schools, that environment is not there. But something phenomenal happened in my life, 11th onwards. So from a timid boy, I started progressing consciously developing myself as an actual leader. I realize my potential over a period of time. So I can tell you with conviction, and you will tell me at my back also that, okay, Rajiv is okay, reasonable leader. You know, it seems to be that he's able to motivate people. He's able to inspire people. Okay. But what is my background? My background is I'm the laborer Sunny. Got the reasons? So even if you don't have the requisite skills as on now, developing your skills, developing your soft skills is going to be important aspect. Look at what you have done on your course and how it has helped you hone certain skills. For example, communication and analytics skills, you know, during your graduation, during your post-graduation, during your school days, right? Problem solving skills. I'm sure we would have, you know, got some opportunities. Even if you have not got opportunities, create opportunities for you non-word itself, and it will help you in your mock interviews. I can assure you, unless you develop this skill, communication and analytical skill and problem solving skill, there will be a situational skill given to you at that time, and you will be high and dry. I'm not scaring you, because I am very fond of giving situations to the people in interviews. As a technology man, most of you are BTechs. You know, my last 10 years of service to Sankalp, I realized 75%, more than 75% people are from technology background who make it to IAS. It's likely that you would have undertaken a research project that would have stretched your teamwork, managing, organizational skills, flexibility, responsibility, negotiation, and conflict resolution. So what I'm trying to say, you know your potential. So when you know your potential, whether you already have this, develop this to some extent, fine. If you have developed, enhance that over a period of time. But if you have not developed even one of them, it is very important that you start developing this through tools. What kind of tools? Perhaps that would be beyond the scope of this talk, because that would take, each subject will perhaps, you know, take another 1 hour actually. Know your potential and start capitalizing on it well. That is how you can develop your soft skills. So whatever I told you in the previous slide, if you look at, people call them, you know, when you type the word soft skills, you know, in the Google and the other search engines, you will find these kind of soft skills, you know, appearing actually. Okay. I call them more of soft but technical skills. I don't call them absolute soft skills. So my real soft skills, which I'm going to share with you, the treasure actually, which I'm going to share with you, are integrity, empathy, and excellence, in that order. Let's see one by one. So integrity, when it comes to integrity, is true that integrity alone won't make you a leader, but without integrity, you will never be one. So if I have to ask the audience, can I ask this question to audience? What exactly do you mean by integrity? Only one person who is confident to tell me what is integrity.
To interlink, sir.
Pardon?
To interlink, sir.
Pardon?
Interlinks anybody, sir. I think if you just go through the integrity means, for my side, that's the mean of integrity, to interlink somebody, or like it's a chain, sir.
So anybody in the audience, I'm giving second chance, would like to improve upon the statement of the first person. What is integrity?
So the quality of being honest.
Honest to whom?
So honest to one's own beliefs.
So who is this gentleman? Who is the gentleman name?
Sir, my name is Vishnu, sir.
Pardon?
Vishnu, sir.
Vishnu. Give a big clap to this Vishnu, who understands what is integrity. So integrity means being honest to oneself. Unfortunately, we cannot be honest to others. We are human beings. We are actually very corrupt human beings internally. बहुत मक्कार लोग होते हैं हम जीवन में, मैंने देखा है, अपने जीवन को भी देखा है. So at least what we can do is to be honest to ourselves. And when we are honest to ourselves, I have realized once we are honest to ourselves, we are able to develop that ability that we become automatically over a period of time honest to others. Now, what does it mean, being honest to ourselves? It means simply, जो आपकी सोचनी है, जो आपकी कथनी है, और जो आपकी करनी है, what you think, what you do as an act. You are understanding what I'm trying to say? Sochni, kathni, and karni. What you say, what you think, and what you do. There should be complete semblance, complete interlinkage between these three aspects of your life. That means जो आप सोचते हैं वही कहते हैं, और जो आप कहते हैं वही करते हैं. That is integrity. And if you have developed this kind of quality in your life, I can assure you it will help you actually being honest to yourself, to acknowledge at what stage of preparation of yours you are today and what you need to do. And when, even if you become, a person of eminence tomorrow, say you join services, you get selected, there also it is going to play a very large role. People are going to look up to you. People are going to have an officer of impeccable integrity, which is actually, to be very frank, my 35 years of service tells me it is a rarest of rare thing, even in services. So leadership is situational, integrity is not. Let me show you this beautiful small clip to give you further enhancement of your thoughts on integrity. So what did you saw in that slide actually, or that movie or the clip?
Honesty, sir.
So
Honesty.
Honesty, not honesty to somebody else. First honesty to himself, right? See, that boy initially winks. He's so happy that, he has found somebody who could be fool enough to give him 2 currency notes together actually. But then later he struggles with himself and finally goes back. So and for what reward? He doesn't get even even the smallest reward except that smile. And even the smile is also forced smile by that boy. He continues to stand in front of that person to get that smile actually. So this is what integrity means. It's not just honesty. Honesty is a very small subset of integrity. Integrity means being honest to yourself. Always remember that. And it finally means that what you think, what you do, and what you say, they all should be in the same stream. Now, this is something which is very important. I thought since the question was of greed in the previous, clip. So there is something wrong with your character. If opportunity controls your loyalty, you will become a civil servant for sure. So this GAN is very important for you, because this GAN might have been told to you by many people over a period of time, school, college, your parents, maybe some mentors of yours. But I have seen enough. Whenever the opportunity comes, it's very difficult to control the greed. It's almost next to impossible to control your greed when such opportunity comes, even in your service career. Think over it. What is important? Upbringing. Being raised right doesn't mean you don't drink, you don't party, or you smoke. Being raised right is how you treat people, your manners, and respect others. Don't you think it is important? Unfortunately, upbringing, we generally equate with the social upbringing of the person. The kind of parents he had, the kind of neighborhood he had, the kind of environment he had, where he was born, brought up over a period of time. The next set, which I thought I must talk about to you, is empathy. Now, what is empathy? You are well aware. You will say, sir, empathy is about being concerned about the human beings and not just about their output. But sometimes we have seen that empathy is considered more of sympathy, right? See, somebody want to share a story with you. Somebody want to share a story with you. And
sir, can I give you example?
yes, please. Just a minute. Yes, please.
सर जैसे दो फ्रेंड्स हैं और जैसे एक फ्रेंड है उसका फादर नहीं है और बी फ्रेंड है उसके फादर हैं
Okay.
और जैसे सी फ्रेंड है उसके फादर की डेथ होगी.
Okay.
जो ए फ्रेंड होगा जो अपने फ्रेंड को सिंपैथी जो फीलिंग देगा जैसे जिसका फादर नहीं है जो अपने दूसरे फ्रेंड को सिंपैथी देगा जो वो होगी सिंपैथी मतलब जो एग्जैक्ट फीलिंग फील करता है उसी सिचुएशन की तरफ. जो बी फ्रेंड होगा वो देगा उसको सिंपैथी मतलब वो एग्जैक्ट फीलिंग नहीं फील करता बट समवेयर मिडल फील करता है उसकी तरफ.
Wonderful. So Niharika deserves a round of applause from you, all of you. So what she was trying to say, and I will say in only one word, she was saying empathy means understanding unkahi. Have you heard about this term unkahi in Hindi? उसने कहा नहीं लेकिन आपने समझ लिया, सुन लिया.
Yes, sir.
कि उसको चाहिए क्या जीवन में. You understand? He wanted just listening ears from you. He wanted to share something. He wanted just listening ears from you. But he didn't even needed your advice. He just needed your listening ears. Do you have that kind of sensitivity? Do you have that kind of sensibility to even understand that part that he's not seeking sympathy? He's not seeking any solution. He's simply seeking what from me? Listening ears. That is what empathy. That is what कि किसी की अनकही को समझ लेना और सुन लेना. When we are sympathetic, we often pity someone else, unfortunately, but unknowingly maintain our distance from their feelings. But when it comes to the, empathy, it is different. So it is a sense that we can truly understand, relate, or imagine your issue or problem without even saying, without the friend having said, कि भाई मेरे फादर की डेथ हो गई है, मेरे को कुछ स्पेशल ट्रीटमेंट चाहिए आपसे. I need some kind of empathy from you, some kind of feelings from you, which you have understood and you have started. It implies feeling with the person rather than feeling sorry for him. That's what Niharika wanted to say. Am I right, Niharika?
Yes, sir.
The last one. You see the sequence which I have said. Integrity came first, then came empathy. then came excellence. Why not excellence first? Now you understand? If you are excellent, you are exactly, you may be excellent in any field. But is it sufficient to be a good human being, to be a good leader, to be a good officer? Absolutely no. You will be a failure unless you understand that you have the requisite traits of being empathetic and you are having impeccable integrity. So a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Excellence is not a stationary target. I always say, आपने सोचा साहब graduation हो जाए 9.2 से, हो गया. Is it over? No. Your target is taunting you. Your target is teasing you. It has gone further away. बोला भाई अभी नौकरी के मैदान में आ जाओ, नौकरी मिल गई, Indian Administrative Services. Now again, the target has gone further. It is teasing you again, man. हिम्मत है तो बन के दिखाओ, at least secretary to the government of India. Don't retire only as a special secretary. Don't retire. Be the best. At least give your 100%. That is what I want to say. Excellence is about giving your best and not about doing things perfectly. Always remember. It is definitely about 100% effort and not the final results. And before I go further, definitely about 100% effort. I have been writing ACR's annual confidential reports of a lot of my subordinates in the last so many years. And I've realized I have unconsciously or subconsciously developed one attitude. And that attitude is, if I have a person A and a person B, if a person A is of an IQ level of 100 and an attitude level, which is a negative attitude, of level, say about 60. But I have a person B who have an attitude of 100, but IQ of 60. Unconsciously, subconsciously, I at least do this thing. You know what? I unconsciously make the B person having a better report than the A person. That is the beauty of giving 100%. भाई मेरी काबिलियत इतनी है, मेरी कैपेसिटी इतनी है, फिर भी मैं अपने आप को धकेल रहा हूँ. I am pushing myself, I am pulling myself. This is what giving 100%. So if you are preparing for civil services and you feel that comparative to what people have told you in last 1.5 days of this orientation capsule, this is required from you, that is required from you, this is what is needed. And even in the evening, my young fella from 2019 batch is going to tell you, Agarwal, that these are the finer tips. Please take those tips with a pinch of salt. That is his tips. You need to develop your own concept. And if you take his tips as your tips, they will be considered by me as shortcuts. And you will land up into troubles. So what you need to look into, that if you decide that what Anuj Agarwal said, what other people said over a period of time in last 1.5 days, that this is expected from me, a scale at scale of 10, and where I lie today is 6.5. How much effort I should put that this 6.5 at least becomes 8, if not 9. That means if others with that scale of 9 already are putting, say, 9 hours of study, I should put in minimum of 12 or 13 hours of study. That is the commitment. That is the 100% effort and not the final result. It is also about continue taking efforts when you face failures. You remember, failures are the lessons you need to learn. It is aspiring for excellence without compromising integrity and empathy. So once you become an officer in civil services, corporate sector, you have your own setup. This is going to be of importance, that just for the result, just for the excellence, just for achieving that target, never ever compromise integrity and empathy factor. So how do I acquire these kind of soft skills, whether they are technical soft skills, sir, or whether they are the real soft skills? So here is some gyan. Develop some positive aptitude. Have some love, care, and concern for others around you. Don't be self-centered. Feel sense of responsibility, ownership. मैं इस एग्जाम में बैठने जा रहा हूँ. It is not because my dad has told me, not because somebody expects me to do. I am owner of this responsibility. This is my ownership. मैं किसी पर एहसान नहीं कर रहा. And nor I am going to behave in a manner that just because I am putting 9 to 12 hours of hard work every day, I can rough up anybody, I can misbehave somebody at home or anywhere else. Always feel confident that I can do it. I don't need plan B. My plan A is sufficient. Be a careful listener. Pay attention. Unfortunately, courtesy these multiple task activities which you have been doing, एक हाथ में लैपटॉप, दूसरे हाथ में मोबाइल, तीसरे हाथ में म्यूजिक. Of course, I mean, I respect your generation, you know, for what reason? My God, I can't even think about these kind of multiple activities. I'm a handicap. मैं सिर्फ एक जगह फोकस कर सकता हूँ. Salute to you people, but in the bargain, don't lose the attention, don't lose the focus. Okay, you must have developed this aptitude, but this aptitude should not be bringing lack of focus. This is very important. So when I say pay attention, means when you're having food, those 10 minutes, don't even watch TV. नहीं साहब, उस टाइम तो लोकसभा टीवी देखूंगा मैंने already अपना time table. No, give the time to food. That food, energy which you are giving to your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, is going to play a very large role. So be cut off from rest of the world at that time. That's what I'm trying to say. Pay attention. Try sense of humor in life. Serious no hoga bhai. Bring life in relations. Make it a habit to try sense of humor, because this will go long way. Party में खड़े हो गए, समझ नहीं आएगी बात क्या करूं. How to crack joke. Ability to deal with failures. I will try again. So what? Doesn't matter. I am confident, but yet to learn a lot. Humble approach. If I tell myself, I know everything. I know. If I believe in this story, I know. There is no way that I can know further. But if I say I don't know, I believe in this approach, then there is some potential. There is a possibility that I must know. And let me tell you, I continue to learn from youngsters like you a lot. A youngster taught me how to run a marathon just about 5 years ago. He gave me that confidence. Sir, aap kar loge? And sir se usko main Rajiv par liya. He started calling me Rajiv. Rajiv, you can do it. Come on. Fine. Read and tell one small story. So this is something, tool which I told you, that communication is an important issue. So, but how to develop my good communication skills, whether it is writing skills, there will be an essay, in the exams, even in the written exam. And when it comes to the communication, in the rest of the writings which I'm going to do, it's going to play a large role. How your paper is going to stand out among various, many papers actually, which the examiner is going to see. How your communication is going to stand out among about 2,300 candidates who are going to appear for, interviews, and only 700 going to be selected. Think over it. How do I do that? Simply read and tell one small story to somebody. Am I joking with you? Kidding with you? No. I recall about 4 years ago, there was a boy who came from BA Political Science background. He cracked his, civil services, and he was sitting in front of me. The mock interview was going on. I was not the chairperson by the time. I was one of the member, and chairperson was slightly tough man. And this boy had, given his medium of language of Hindi, but neither he could speak Hindi nor he could speak English. This boy was so shattered in his confidence in those 32 minutes of the interview during even the mock stage that there were tears in his eyes, and his eyes became moist. But then he overcame, that feeling, and within no time, and came back to the interview. But then his interview was a disaster. And unfortunately, the chairperson, was further tough, and he said, "Boss, tumhara kuch nahi ho sakta jeevan." Right? And this boy was clueless. And I remember, maybe Madhu has forgotten. I asked Madhu, what is the phone number of this boy? And I got in touch with him. And when I got in touch with him, by evening, I was told that, sir, I am from a village about 92 kilometers away from Kanpur, which doesn't have even electricity, proper electricity. I come from there. My all education is from village side. Maximum Kasba mein maine apna graduation kiya, political science. And look at his grades. Interestingly, 43% improvement, but see the 43% in 10th. Inter mein 47% and 52% in BA political science. This boy is sitting in front of me. He has cleared the civil services mains examination. Now, I asked him, when is your interview? Because I had forgotten by evening. And I realized that his interview is about 2 months and 10 days from now. Let me tell you, and I take pride in sharing the story with everybody whenever I get a chance, just to motivate, inspire people, that this boy came to a stage in 2 months and 10 days. He couldn't become an Indian civil services officer for sure, but he's an IRS officer now. Okay, it's a very self-satisfying. What should I say? My eyes are moist actually talking about the story, because this boy, it was very difficult to pull him from that lowest confidence level to this highest confidence level. And how I did that, I used to have his mock interviews in my office. Sometime I called him at home. उसको थोड़ा confidence देने के लिए बोलता था, ला बड़े एक beer लगाते हैं, and that is how I raised his morale to that level. Okay, so when I say communication, communication was such an important aspect in his life. He was shuddered. He could not have appeared in this interview well, just because he was not able to communicate. So please take it very seriously. Take activity to work in a team. Teamwork is important. Your individual excellence, which you have been doing so far, many of you don't even understand, it is going to be important, because whether you like it or not, you will actually reflect in your mock interview or actual interview. When it comes to the interview, those panelists are घाग, शातिर लोग हैं वो मेरी तरह, वो पहचान लेंगे आपको कि आपके अंदर क्या है अंदर, आप टीम मेंबर हो या आप इंडिविजुअलिस्ट. Develop a habit, contribute something towards the environment around you, immediate environment around you, in your society where you live in. Take a voluntary task for just half an hour. Pay attention to that task. Do something about it. Let me be self-disciplined. I need to have a daily schedule. I appeared for an interview perhaps 2 years ago for Director General of India Meteorological Department. That was the next logical step that I could have become one. I didn't go through. I mean, I didn't make it finally, but then let me tell you what I did. I made a schedule even at this stage in my life, right? That is what I'm going to do in the next 10 days. Okay, my interview went bang on. There was nothing wrong with interview, but perhaps the system's handicap. Okay, less of it. बहुत बात हो गई साहब. Action speaks louder. Intention is one thing. So getting inspired and motivated by this talk, you may develop good intentions. Okay, sir, करूँगा sir मैं soft skills भी करूँगा, मैं real skills भी करूँगा, मैं technical skills भी करूँगा, मैं अपने जीवन का उद्देश्य चीज कर दूँगा, मैं सर Google करूँगा, मैं search engines में जाऊँगा. Execution is another 30 minutes from now when you leave this class, another half a day from now, whether your motivation, inspiration will remain. That is what is important. Execution is important in your life. Will you execute what you intend doing, or will you let things happen to you accidentally? Is the big question. So I'll take my life as an accident. I might have become a very senior officer in, present segment what I do, and I might have developed various skills, various degrees over a period of time, various hats I wore, but it is all by accident. It is all by accident. It was not by choice. I had no luxury that somebody could teach me, somebody could mentor me, somebody could guide me. Come on, man, you can actually do this way. You need 3 hobbies. One to keep you creative, important aspect. One to keep you in shape, whether it is physical gymming and, cycling, swimming, or maybe yoga, pranayam, and meditation. My friend, Patil Saab told me that, sir, thoda iske bare mein zarur bataiye. So perhaps I should tell you only one thing. Last 17 years, I've been doing this yoga, pranayam, and meditation on very regular basis. And I've never looked back only on one aspect in my life, that even as a father, even as a husband, even as an officer, in Indian Air Force, even when I was there, during that time, I had evolved as a person. Courtesy, yoga, pranayam, and meditation. And let me also tell you, even when it comes to my commitments, my self-discipline, when it comes to the resolves which I took, okay, 10-kilometer run, 21.2 kilometer run, 42-kilometer run, 200 kilometers of cycling, 600 kilometers of cycling, all these resolves which I've taken just in last 2 years, 3 years, is courtesy. Not because that I'm physically fit, because of pranayam, meditation, and the yoga, hot yoga, which I perform every day. I spend about 3 hours plus on myself every day. To not just be in shape, but in absolute shape, physical shape, mental shape, and the spiritual shape. One need to make one, and you can even think of a hobby that can help you make some money also. Not a bad idea. So why I say so? Because I recall back when I started my journey after 10th, so there was no money at home to even buy books at times and support myself. Even there was no food at times, to be very frank. So I started giving tuitions. Okay, and this is how I did my BSc and MSc before I joined Indian Air Force as an aviation meteorologist. So I was making some money, while I was. So if you feel that आपको आपके पापा का पैसा, आपकी mom का पैसा चुभता है, you are at a stage where you are not earning yourself. Make it a habit that spend just 1 hour, just 1 hour. Take a tuition, do something, some kind of hobby, even which can get you some money. Spend some 1 hour to give you that kind of esteem that you are not dependent on anybody. It is important that you spread good vibes in real life and not just online. कितना ज्ञान मिलता है ना भाई साहब online. You have stopped looking at the WhatsApp forwards. Why so? Because unfortunately, जो आपको ज्ञान भेज भी रहा है, उसकी पर्सनालिटी के बारे में आपको पूरी तरह से पता है कि वो कितने पानी में है. Live the life. Most importantly, live the life. When you are in a great hurry to do something, just hold back a few seconds. That's all it takes to shift from compulsiveness to consciousness. Compulsiveness to consciousness means you have developed a habit that at the drop of the hat, you lose your patience. You become angry because this has become compulsive behavior. Now, make a habit through the mechanisms like pranayam, mechanisms like meditation and yoga, wherein this compulsiveness is transformed into the consciousness. Just one example I gave you of anger. There could be enough number of it. You might be compulsive in sex. You might be compulsive in eating. You might be compulsive in any damn thing, any physiological needs, which you are presently in the pyramid of Maslow theory of hierarchy. Finally, when you become civil servant, when you become a corporator, when you become a startup man, when you will have about hundreds of employees, hundreds of officers working under you, the answer is the people. If you can't connect with the people, you can't empathize with the people. If you don't have that kind of impeccable integrity where you can show by example that you are the leader, nothing would happen. Be spiritually attractive means over a period of time through these tools, whether integrity, whether confidence, whether the empathy or your yoga practices, there should be a glow, there should be an aura around your personality that when you walk in any platform, when you walk in any circle, people welcome you. People generally look at you with people look at you, some kind of energies, the energy start flowing from you. That is what I mean. Be spiritually attractive. Train yourself in next 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, till you become a civil servant, till you become a corporator, or till you become whatever you want to become. Live the life. Are you here to experience life or just keep thinking about it? भाई क्या होगा जीवन में? IAS बनूंगा कि नहीं बनूंगा? पता नहीं क्या होगा. This is not the question. My aim was to sow a seed today. I don't know whether I was able to sow a seed or no. You have to see this movie to see that. So what essentially I wanted to tell you is, you need to make your internal environment like this seed. Then no matter what kind of storms comes in your life, no matter what kind of trials and tribulations comes in your life, you will make your internal environment so strong over a period of time that these external situations, external circumstances will not allow you to say, साहब मैं तो अनसक्सेसफुल इसलिए रह गया क्योंकि मेरे जीवन में ये हो. You will not blame it on to the Rio. You will not blame it to the external circumstances. And importantly, blame तो बाद में आएगा. You will not be heckled. You will not be shattered. You will not be disturbed by the external circumstances. You will make yourself internally so strong that nothing can stop you getting happy landings in whatever you do want to do in life. Thank you. I think my number is there, my email address is there, and the show is stopped by the showstopper, Dr. Rajiv. Thank you so much.
So, वो 2 है या 1 है वहाँ पे?
Pardon?
Sir, आपका नंबर वहाँ पे 1 लिखा हुआ है वहाँ पे.
ओह अच्छा, वो 9582000940.
Thank you, sir.
So Madhu, I have finished. Do you have any questions? You can.
Yes. No, I think Dr. Patil will take over.
Okay.
And absolutely, let me, since you've asked me, it's wonderful. I'm sure I've been through in and in. Excellent talk. Thank you so very much. It's worth it. And I'm sure all the students have gained, as I was saying in the beginning, तो खोदा पहाड़ निकली चुईया नहीं है, वो पहाड़ी है, अच्छा है. And if we have really not run out of too much of time, any couple of questions we can definitely take. किसी को कुछ खास पूछना हो, नहीं तो they can all connect. Because if you start questions, I don't know, Dr. Patil knows it more. कितना time लगेगा? I'll thank you, Rajiv, once again very much. It's so nice, pleasure having you with us.
My pleasure.
Dr. साहब आप देखें, आप लीजिए.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. Friends, we'll take only 2 questions. If you have any question, you can ask. But let me first, before concluding this session and before taking the 2 your question, there is a 1 more session at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6:30. Dr. Akshay Agrawal, 43rd rank, 2019 batch, He's going to deliver the lecture on tips for the preparation. 2 questions. If you have any question, you can ask me.
Sir, about
please.
सर आपने कहा कि एमटेक करने से ज्यादा बेटर है पीएचडी करना, तो सर क्या कोई अगर एमटेक करता है तो उसके लिए कोई अपॉर्चुनिटीज कम होती हैं एज कम्पेयर टू पीएचडी?
So let me tell you what I wanted to say when I said so. Just a minute. Okay. What I wanted to actually tell you is that, who's there, Dolly Jha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my aim was to tell you that sometime for shortcuts, sometime for the purpose of time available to us, we may think, that, come on, BTech 4 years, another 2 years MS, and now, Dr. Rajiv, are you okay? You are suggesting me, another 4 years I should spend, in getting into the PhD mode and do PhD in mechanical engineering. I still insist that you must, in case you want to get into the corporate sector. Okay, why? Because when you join after MS, the level at which you are going to join, and you are going to grow over a period of time after MS, and the level you are going to join a corporate sector after PhD in whatever subject you have thought of, there, even in the initial stages itself, the research says there will be a placement difference of about 3 stages. That means if somebody is joining as level 1, after BTech, rather I will put it, BTech and AppTech generally, people are taken at the same stage, level 1 itself. Okay. Whereas when it comes to the PhDs, they are taken at level 4, not level 2, not level 3. That is the difference. So whereas from level 1 to become level 4, if you are just MS or your BTech, it will take minimum 7 to 10 years. Here you will make it within 4 years. So which is more beneficial. I was trying to talk about this one. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir, about integrity, I wanted to ask. Sir, through reading and through some movies, actually, I might be misinformed. Like, there is a perception like the person who is too straightforward, like he gets troubled a lot in the services, and like a lot of problems he faces.
Very good question, Vishal. I think that's a very relevant question. I think when I go with the flow, I generally sometimes miss things. Good to remind me that this question was asked. So there is a difference between having impeccable integrity, wherein you are able to have that kind of balance, wherein what you think, what you say, and what you do are same, synonymous, okay, similar. What I was trying to tell you here is that who said that, it may be a difficult, it may be a difficult thing, to maintain integrity in the services. I agree with you, but it is not impossible. Why it is difficult, I tell you, because unfortunately, sometimes we people, we take our ego as integrity. Actually, we are, nursing our ego, whereas we feel, no, my integrity is so impeccable. So even if your integrity is impeccable, it doesn't mean that you need to misbehave with your bosses. It simply means that you need to convey the same point in the most politically correct language. You need to convey that point. You need to reiterate the point if the boss has not understood. And you need to further reiterate once again after 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month, and then leave it to the system to take care of it. So that's what it means, impeccable integrity, having conviction of courage to say what you want to say. And also, there is a difference between legitimate instructions, legitimate orders, and illegitimate instructions. Means that if your boss has given illegitimate instructions, so even if after pursuance, he doesn't understand. So if you have actually the kind of integrity you have, you need not be worried about the system. You need not be worried about the future, because future is very much intact. You might have to fight sometime a little battle, right? But nothing is going to stop you in terms of maintaining your impeccable integrity, provided you are behaving with your bosses, you are behaving with your peers, behaving with your colleagues, it's going to be important. I tell you, they say 88% of the management, you have heard about Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker is the most important, most relevant, most quoted HR guru from Harvard actually. And he said once, 88% of management is what is your behavior management. Rest 12% is there in the books, what we have in the library. So if you have not understood the art of good behavior by being, a civil servant or maybe a defense servant or a corporator, I think you have not understood that who is a good leader, who is a good officer, who is a born leader, who is a natural leader. So this is what also I meant from compulsiveness to consciousness. You need to transform from a stage of compulsiveness where you react to the situations in no time to an ability to acquire an ability that you start learning how to manage your bosses very well. And when I make this statement, let me share with you, take another minute, an example from my life itself. Okay, when I was in Indian Air Force, I was #1 everywhere, all the courses, academies, Sword of Honor, etc., etc. But when I got my first, conclusion of my ACRs of last 7 years, way back in 2001, we are 20 officers in our peer group. Okay, out of that 20, I thought I will be #1. I was in the air, okay, because I didn't realize that my behavior, is being compromised because of my ego. My impeccable integrity is being named as ego, or ego is being named as integrity. And you will be shocked. I was not #1, #2, #3. I was the lowest among those 20 guys. Can you believe this? Now, from that stage in 2001, I knew that I'm going to be considered for my first selection grade, deeper selection, group captain board in 2011, 10 years from now. I realized that if I'm good, I'm no good actually. I'm not of any good in case I don't even understand what is quality of behavior actually, where I can't even keep my goodness intact actually. And I started amending myself consciously over a period of time. And let me tell you, the dividends are so rich. Within next 10 years, I evolved as a person so well that out of 20, unfortunately, there came a stage when our first board was there for group captain selection. Out of 20, only one was selected. Only one vacancy was there. It's a very deeper selection in comparison to the civil services. It's a very, very deeper selection. And only Dr. Mahajan made it as a group captain. So these, see what I meant to say, the tables were transformed. So it is not that you cannot do it. You can bloody well do it, provided you have the grit, you have the determination, you have the courage of conviction, and importantly, can you have the ability to check your behavior and not call your ego as integrity? Hope that answers your question, Vishal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sir, excellent, sir.
Very well explained. Very, very well explained.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely wonderful.
So can we take a break and say goodbye to everybody?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you whenever you want me in your life.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your in-depth, encouraging session. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.